channel. My name's Rex, and today we're going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals. What the hell are they doing, and can they turn it around? But first, if you enjoy NFL content, I hope you'll consider subscribing. And if you like this video, then I hope you'll leave a like rating. But without further ado, let's get into it. The Arizona Cardinals have had a crazy offseason, from disgruntled stars, to free agents signing elsewhere, to trading away their first-round pick, and now their best player is suspended for performance-enhancing drugs. Before we get into all this craziness, let's rewind to 2019 when Kliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray showed up on the scene. Kingsbury took an interesting path to the NFL. He was the offensive coordinator at Texas Tech for 6 seasons after only 3 years of experience at the University of Houston. He had 2 seasons where his offense was in the top 10 in the FBS. Bet you can't guess who his quarterback was. He then accepted the position of offensive coordinator at USC in December of 2018. Kingsbury began receiving interest from NFL teams who wanted to interview him for their head coaching vacancies, namely the Jets and the Cardinals. The USC athletic director blocked the NFL teams from interviewing him, though, as he had already signed his contract. So, Kingsbury resigned and pursued the NFL dream, eventually being hired in Arizona. I think we all know why he chose the Cardinals. What coach wouldn't want the number 1 overall pick and the ability to draft Kyler Murray? Which brings us to Kyler. He's electric to watch, has a cannon of an arm, and has a rocket up his butt when he gets into open space. The Cardinals were hoping that Kingsbury could do with Murray what he had already done with Mahomes at Tech. Things have started off pretty solid from a statistical standpoint. Kyler won Offensive Rookie of the Year and has thrown for 3,700 yards or more each of his first 3 years. In 2020, he stepped up his rushing totals for going over 800 yards and 11 touchdowns. The Cardinals' record has improved each year with Kingsbury and Murray running the show, from 3-13 in 2018 to 11-6 last year. To this point in the story, you'd think they were headed in the right direction and towards a happy ending. Well, you'd be wrong. I can't put my finger on it, but ever since they got demolished in the wild card round by the Rams, nothing has seemed right in the organization. It all started shortly before the Super Bowl this year. Twitter sleuths discovered that Kyler Murray had removed every reference to the Arizona Cardinals from all of his social media. Shortly after that, Kyler made a statement via social media that he really didn't answer anyone's questions. He pushed back against those who had claimed he doesn't play hard all the time or doesn't love the game of football, but made 0 references to the Cardinals or his desire to stay in Arizona. In the last month or so, that's all calmed down, with it being theorized that the two parties will be working towards an extension at some point this summer. Reports are that he's eyeing Deshaun Watson levels of guaranteed money. Only time will tell if he gets it. So let's consider this drama case closed. For now. Next up, let's look at all the free agents that the Cardinals let walk. I'll list them all out quickly, then we'll talk about some of the big ones. Christian Kirk, Chandler Jones, Chase Edmonds, Jordan Hicks, and Jordan Phillips have all signed elsewhere. There are smaller role players that are still out there in free agency and might make a return, but I don't see them moving the needle for this team one way or the other. First, Christian Kirk. Every team can thank he and the Jaguars for breaking the wide receiver market after he signed a 4-year, $72 million deal. Kirk was a league average receiver in my eyes, but as of right now, he's the 13th highest paid wide receiver in the league. Higher than the likes of Mike Evans, Adam Thielen, Tyler Lockett, and Cooper Kupp. Consider the bank broken. However, where it affects the Cardinals is they let a solid number 2 wide receiver walk. I'll address his replacement in a little bit. Chandler Jones had 10.5 sacks last year. You don't pick that up off the street. They did draft essentially 3 edge rushers in the 3rd to 6th rounds, so we'll see how that goes. The last one I'll mention is Jordan Hicks. He had over 100 tackles in each of his last 3 seasons with the Cardinals. He was their Mike linebacker last year as well, no doubt a leader on defense. Their draft was decent, but I haven't seen anyone calling them a winner of the weekend. They did make a big move for Hollywood Brown, though. Some say they did it knowing that Hopkins was going to be suspended. They gave up a 1st round to get Brown plus a 3rd round pick in 2023. And keep in mind that Hollywood has only eclipsed 1,000 yards once in his first 3 years, and that was last year hitting 1,006 yards. Keep in mind that A.J. Brown was traded at roughly the same time for a 1st round pick, only 5 spots earlier, plus they had to give up a 3rd round. A.J. Brown was hurt last year, but only came up short of 1,000 yards once in his first 3 seasons. To me, the value isn't there on Hollywood, but we'll see where it goes. This roster is constructed with 4 stars, Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, J.J. Watt, and Budda Baker, and very few quality depth pieces. They're the Brooklyn Nets of the NFL. While it works out really well in the regular season, see the 11-6 record, it clearly doesn't work in the postseason, see the 34-11 loss. I think this team is lacking leadership on offense and depth, especially on defense. Who are the defensive tackles? Who are their corners? I think there's a good chance they'll still make the playoffs in a somewhat weak NFC, but it'll be a 6th or 7th spot, and they'll likely make an early exit once again. I don't think it's a dumpster fire just yet, and lucky for them, the 49ers and Seahawks won't be as good this year, but I think that they're turning down rather than up. I look forward to being proven wrong, and I do need Hopkins to come back quick because he's my keeper league wide receiver 1. Thanks so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really hope you'll consider subscribing. It would mean a lot. I upload new NFL content every Monday and Friday. I really appreciate you being here, and I'll see y'all next time.